Greetings, my darlings. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back again with an episode of Chronic Wellness. Thank you for joining me. I want to continue to say a few words about boundaries. And they are important for all of us, undoubtedly. And for those of us with chronic illness, I cannot emphasize enough how critical they are to sustaining, maintaining, stabilizing our health in the midst of chronic conditions. And I want to direct you to show notes because through April of 2024, my good friend and licensed marriage and family therapist, Jenny Walters, is extending to you all the opportunity to take her course. It is a 12-module course about boundaries for the radically reduced price of $49. So if you feel like your boundaries could use a tune-up and you're not sure where to start, her course goes in depth, step by step, examining why boundaries are so hard for us to set, and then peeling back and demystifying how to get started with jump starting and managing and handling each of the layers of what it takes to get better at establishing boundaries in our life. So check show notes for that. And I recently read a book that I highly recommend to you all by Dr. Pooja Laskhmin, and the book is called Real Self-Care. And in it, she examines kind of the contrast between what is truly taking care of ourselves compared to what a capitalistic society has conditioned us to believe is self-care, which is external, something that can be purchased, something that is something we're sort of always falling short of and maybe feel like we're failing at, and maybe something that is a trend or can be bought. And she says that real self-care is an inside job. It is values driven. It is a journey, not a destination. And like so many things we talk about here on the channel, therefore, it is a practice, not, something you arrive at perfectly and then just inhabit from henceforth, but something you have to put work in a habitual way and continue to reclaim for yourself. And in a book where she examines really 4 avenues or aspects of claiming the sacred territory of self-care, she cites boundaries as one of those 4, and one that women in Western society are particularly poor at for a wide range of reasons, right? From us being taught that we need to accommodate other people, from us being taught to put others first, from us being shown examples of people-pleasing and martyrdom, and a whole host of other reasons. And I'm going to say that because our time and our energy are our very most valuable natural resources, it then becomes really absolutely essential that we have boundaries to back up those beliefs or values. I have a dear friend who is incredibly healthy and vibrant and very active. And she recently had to have a hysterectomy because she had fibroids and needed to have them removed. This is just in the last week. And I was checking in with her over the weekend, asking how she's recuperating and how she's doing at taking the time off that the doctor is requiring and slowing down in the ways that she's been asked to. And it's not surprising that she's finding those two things hard to do. But the thing that has been surprising to her is that she was told to take 4 weeks off, which she's doing, and people knowing that she has that time off have started to make claim to her time. I'll come see you. Let's make a plan. Why don't you come over? I'll take this afternoon. And she has not been saying no. She's accustomed to seeing friends. She's accustomed to having a busy life. And she's unaccustomed to how completely giving in that way would wear her out. And so after 3 back-to-back days of that, she said, Annette, I'm so tired and so unaccustomed to these visits being this fatiguing. And we are very close friends, so she knows what work I've done in this area. And I said to her, you know, you're going to have to say no, or say, yes, you can come over, but only for half an hour, or no, not that day. How about a few days later? And she's finding it incredibly difficult to set those limits. And I think that's so understandable. When we are unaccustomed to setting limits with others in our lives, it's really difficult to start doing that. And I think the number one reason that we give is guilt. And I think the number 2 reason that's right neck and neck is not wanting to offend or hurt or inconvenience other people. And I'm going to remind you of a story of a friend of mine that when we were starting to become friends, she said, Annette, I want to be closer to you, but I just see you saying yes to everyone in your life and going along with whatever thing they're asking you to do. And I thought, yeah, because I'm a good friend. And I listened to her, and she went on to say, Annette, I cannot trust your yes until I hear you say no, until I can believe that you will say no. And I thought, that is real wisdom. How can any of us trust anyone's yes unless we know that they will also say no? Because if I am asking you to do something, I need to know that you'll only say yes to me if that is what's best for you, that you'll always say no if that's what you need to say, and that similarly, I'll get permission to do the same. But in this world of accommodation and guilt trip and people pleasing, that isn't always what we were socialized to do. So I urge you to think about, as Anne Lamott says, that no is a complete sentence, and so is I changed my mind. And to, as we are beginning this season of spring and new beginnings, think about what new things need to be born in you and whether or not those start with a tune-up to your boundaries. So thank you for tuning in. As ever, I am humbled, honored, and grateful for your time and attention. I encourage you to use the comments to brag about yourself and sound off about any tips or techniques around boundaries that you would share with the community. And I want to remind you to check out that link that through the month of April, there's a special on a 12 module course in boundaries if that's something that you're needing right now. Thanks so much for being here with me, and I'll see you again very soon. Until we're together again, be well.